What's up, guys? David Land here. Welcome to a bonus outside episode of the IndyCar Red Pill. The reason I am here is because pretty much the biggest news in IndyCar racing since about 1993 just broke this morning, and that is that Fernando Alonso, two-time Formula One world champion, will forego racing the Monaco Grand Prix to come to Indianapolis to drive for Andretti Autosport, the defending champions of the Indianapolis 500, in a collaborative effort between McLaren, Honda, and Andretti. A sixth car out of the Andretti stable, though I suspect McLaren will send many of their mechanics and engineers to oversee that car. Like I said, this is maybe the biggest news in IndyCar racing in a very, very long time. I mean, you guys probably remember when Kurt Busch came over in 2014 and 2013. On a world stage, on a world level, this news is probably 2 or 3 times the influence that Kurt Busch's is. And that's not to say that Kurt Busch coming over wasn't a big deal. It's just that on a global scale, people in pretty much every country in the world, anybody who knows motorsport, on a global level knows Fernando Alonso's name. This is one of the biggest name gets we've seen at Indianapolis in a very long time. And it's crazy because at this time you would think Fernando Alonso has been very unhappy in his McLaren position. Obviously with McLaren Honda, if you've watched any of the races recently, saw interviews, he seems very unhappy. And it's crazy to me that they were able to work this deal. It may have been a sweetheart deal to try to keep him at McLaren because Alonso has said in the past that he wants to run Indy. And I always took it as kind of one of those things, well, you hear pretty much every race car driver say they want to run the Indianapolis 500. It's kind of, you know, a dream of pretty much everybody who's ever strapped themselves into a race car to run Indy. But the fact that we're going to be seeing Fernando Alonso actually here at Indianapolis and in probably the most competitive car he could possibly be in. The Honda package for Indianapolis is very, very strong. As we saw last year, I mean, there's no reason to expect that Fernando will not compete for this win. And again, the potential gain from this is absolutely massive. The international TV audience is going to be huge for this race. I think domestically we're going to see quite a few people interested in the 500 that haven't been interested for several years. Other things, we just saw news break that McLaren themselves is actually interested in entering IndyCar as a factory team. If that happens, my goodness, what, I mean, 2 McLaren cars on the grid for the Indy 500. And that means Fernando may have a shot, you know, to continue running the Indy 500 if he likes it. But another big thing about this deal and how it happened was the fact that Stefan Wilson actually stepped aside to make this deal happen. Stefan Wilson was going to run an Andretti Autosport Honda. He talked to Mark Miles, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway president, because McLaren had spoken to Mark Miles that they could not get an engine deal for Fernando Alonso. That's a big problem, by the way. The fact that a world champion can't get an engine deal for the Indy 500. But they couldn't get an engine deal. They spoke to Stefan Wilson, who had literally just penned his a deal with Andretti Autosport. Wilson said something to the effect of, take care of my sponsor, get me a ride for 2018, the 2018 Indy 500, and we'll let Fernando in. And so Stefan Wilson, as if we didn't know it already, is an absolute class act, and what he did for the sport is unbelievable, and he has single-handedly helped create one of the biggest stories in IndyCar racing we have seen in a very, very long time. The Indy 500 month on my channel, folks. If you're coming here just because you saw Fernando Alonso will run Indy in the title, stick around. I will definitely cover Fernando's exploits on the track. I'll probably do an entire video just filming Alonso for the day. I can't wait to get his autograph. Alonso, if you don't know me personally, is my favorite F1 driver. So, I mean, next to Kyle Larson running the Indy 500, which doesn't seem like it's going to happen in the near future, especially because now Ganassi is with Honda, this is the biggest thing ever. I mean, this is absolutely huge. This is absolutely huge. This has increased my excitement for Indy tenfold. This is going to be huge. We're going to see an orange McLaren back. We haven't seen a McLaren entry at Indianapolis since the early 80s, and those were privateer entered cars. I don't think we've seen the McLaren factory team since about 1976 or 1978. I think that was the last year of the McLaren factory team. But this is I cannot express to you guys how big of news this is. This may be like I said, this is the biggest story since Nigel Mansell came over to run the full IndyCar series in 1993. I mean, this is huge, and a lot of people are going to be paying attention to the Indianapolis 500. And pay attention to this channel as well. This is the IndyCar Red Pill. We're going to be talking all sorts of IndyCar stuff on this channel, particularly in the month of May. So I hope you guys will stick around for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this looks good because I filmed it outside just specifically to see what I need to do camera settings wise for outside filming. So we've got the Backstreet Boys going by. And thank you guys so much for watching. Fernando Alonso will drive a McLaren, Honda, Andretti Autosport car in the Indianapolis 500, and I cannot wait to see it.